Off the plantation, the journey towards freedom. All right, fam. The reason why we're here is to make sure that we can make sense of the nonsense. And right now, there is a lot of nonsense going around. Specifically, this particular episode is about the tariffs. There's a lot of people who just don't understand what tariffs are, what the significance of it is, what's Trump's new policy, how is that really going to help Americans? What right? So I want to provide clarity on what's happening right now and how we should feel about it. So here's a quick, simple analogy that I hope you get through all of the nonsense that's being spewed. All right, so here's a scenario. And again, this is an analogy to help you understand the significance of tariffs or what they do or what they mean and how do we get here. So let's say you started a bike company and high-end bikes, wonderful bike companies that you started, and one of your suppliers came to you. He says, "Look, I'm a supplier, and I'm really trying to get started. You got a wonderful enterprise here. Can you help me get started? I'm way on the other side of town, and I just got a small storefront, but all I have is a couple of tires out there and a couple of bike parts, and I really don't have a good edifice, but I'd love to be a supplier for you because I'm skilled and I can put together bikes and all of this." And you say, "Okay, I'll give you a shot." He says, "Look, why don't you buy all of your parts and your supplies from me? So when your bikes come in here and they need repair, you could either give it to me to repair or you buy your parts from me and like that. But I'm going to charge you full price." And you say, "Okay, you're getting started. You need to build your business. I'll gladly do that. There's no problem. I want to help the small business guy to have a successful enterprise like what we have here at our nice big bike store." And you do that. So over a period of time, you actually pay full whack for all of his services, and he gives you good services and all of that. But after a while, after a number of years, you realize, wait a minute, that brother, I'm still cutting him some real big checks. As a matter of fact, your CFO comes in and he says, "Look, we're losing money. There's another bike shop, on the other side of town that's actually duplicating our bikes, selling them for less, and I think they're a supplier of ours." You say, "What?" And he says, "Yeah. This particular shop, it looks like we cut them some big checks last year." And then you do a drive-by. You drive by, you see the owner, you say, "Hey, man, what's up?" And he says, "Hey, you like our shop? This is pretty big, man. This is great. You really helped us to get started by paying full whack on all our services over the years. It's allowed us to have this and all of that, and thank you. And but now we're in the bike business, and we got just about as big as you are." And you say, "Well, that's great, but I've been cutting you some large checks, and you basically duplicated our technology. You've been now building your own bikes, and this doesn't make any sense for me to pay full whack on your services when obviously you should be we're actually competitors now. I shouldn't be paying you full price for anything. You're a thriving enterprise. You're exactly like us." This is the situation the U.S. finds itself in with all of its other countries around the world. We were allowing these countries, because they were underdeveloped, to go ahead and develop and become a more of a developed country, a developed nation that would help all of the citizens that were residing within those countries to come up. So we had done that for generations now. And then now President Trump is saying, "Well, wait a minute now. The U.S. is still paying a lot more for import, and export to these countries, and they're just as big as us. They sell more cars than us, and they're doing just as well. And as a matter of fact, they're eating our lunch in several industries. So we need to, instead of continuing to pay their tariffs, huge tariffs, over and above what should be paid, we're going to either give them reciprocal tariffs, or we're going to tell them that we have a no tariff, type of a scenario, type of a scheme we want to implement. So the idea is the United States overpaid as far as trade balance, approximately $800 billion last year. And that's happening year after year after year after year. So almost $1 trillion leaves the U.S. gross domestic product and is being improperly or imbalanced as it relates to goods and services coming back to the United States, to the extent that we're losing approximately $1 trillion a year because we pay tariffs and nobody's paying us in tariffs. So President Trump is like this, pristine bike shop owner that now has this new competitor across the, on the other side of town that's done all this business. We cut all these deals, we did all, and we helped build them up, but now they're competing with us equally. Why are we still doing this? So this is the big thing around the tariffs. The big thing around tariffs is we need to level the playing field again. These are not developing nations by and large, because now they've caught up. They're thriving, countries. The people are doing well, and we need to claw back some of those tariffs that we've been paying them, or at least have reciprocal tariffs. So at the end of the day, we'll have a balanced trade scenario where we pay 400 billion, we get 400 billion back because of tariffs to other nations. So I hope that analogy is helping you. Additionally, what it does is, let's go back to the bike scenario. So all of our employees in our bike company, we've had to lay off because a lot of our sales now are being, consumed by the other bike company, the other side of town. Well, that other bike company is hiring lots of people, and main suppliers are going to that bike company and giving them bigger discounts and bigger and better deals, because our business is shrinking and theirs is growing. So this is what we have here in the United States. We're saying that, look, a lot of our manufacturing base has left as a result of our tariff policy. And, look, if you want to continue to be a part of the United States and take advantage of the number one consumer nation in the world, we welcome you back here and we'll give you a no tariff scenario, but you have to manufacture here. So we can then build our bench with our own, by employing U.S. Citizens to do the jobs that have now been offshored, and again in this bike scenario that have now been taken over by this other bike company across town that we helped to build, because we've gave them lots of money, full whack on our costs. I hope this makes sense. So with that in mind, the tariff scenario, yes, it's a little scary because no other president in American history has ever taken this strident of a view to make sure that all countries that are taking advantage of the number one consumer nation in the world, that they actually are fair with and provide equivalent tariff reconciliation between our countries. So because of that, it's a little scary, and a lot of people, and a lot of it though is because we don't know how this turns out. It just so happens that what's happening now is over $5 trillion in manufacturers come back to U.S. So that's a great benefit, because those are new jobs, hundreds of thousands of new jobs. The other thing that we're seeing as a benefit of this is all of these countries are now coming back to President Trump and saying, hey, can we do a deal? Can we, work something out? Can we, maybe we'll go with a no tariff thing, and then you don't tariff us, we don't tariff you. It's all good. That's all wonderful. Those are all in our benefit. So it's a little scary because of the uncertainty of how it will play out over time. I say give it, 90 to 120 days and see what happens. And see how these things are manifesting. But I think, by and large, We actually have a president that's taking up for the American workforce, for the American citizen, and making sure that other countries pay their fair share as it relates to tariff policy to the United States. So we all should win. Cross our fingers. Let's see what happens. But we don't have to panic. The markets are going to teeter because they're trying to figure out this has never happened. So, but we'll all be better, wiser, and more successful as a result of these policies. That's my assessment, at least. Anyway, off the plantation, the journey towards freedom. We're going to continue the journey towards freedom together, and these types of subjects are important. So let's lean in and learn what we can, and let's make sure that we support policies that actually support American freedom and American success. See you next time.